Hey everybody, clearing. So today we're going to start off with where are the divine counterparts at energetically? What is the connection space? Got Two of Cups and the Ace of Orbs, or Eight of Orbs, sorry, on the cut. That is fear regarding the love. Interesting that I guess New Year's Eve or New Year's is a pivotal time for consideration, but let's see, what is it, Divine Creator, that we can see for the connection? I'm laughing because I just saw Divine Feminine and then Twin Flames, the Two of Flames on the shuffle. But let's see, and Divine Justice, surrender, surrender, surrender. What is it we can see, Divine Creator, for the counterparts at this time? Where are the Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine at energetically? Okay, so we have truth. The Ace of Swords, Ace of Orbs is the shared space. Both are coming to heightened truths at this time. I'm going to pull a clarifier to find out what the energetic truths are that the divine counterparts are finding. So divine masculines, we get flower of feeling, compassion, emotional awakening, and forgiveness. So divine masculines, you are feeling things you've never felt before, and it's a more accurate representation of your truth. It's more playful. There's a dolphin in this card. So the things that you were turning a blind eye to, the inconvenient truths, especially about these connections, or about what divine love is, you have been telling yourself that it wasn't the fun track to be on. And now you're seeing that light as you honor your true emotional feelings. Forgive yourself and others. Have compassion. This connection with your feminine has become a joy. Divine love has become a joy. Becoming a joy. You might not know all of the answers, because the Ace of Swords is just that initial breakthrough, innovation, thought, openness. You don't have to know all the answers. It just is what it is, and it has begun. What are the feminines coming to energetically with this truth serum? Adenine and thiamine, duality, contrast, trust, and balance. This is you focusing on yourself, divine feminines, and knowing that all things meant for you will be yours. And to trust the divine plan, not the person necessarily that you deem to be ordained as your twin. This is about trusting the divine so that everything that you experience illuminates for your consideration the options of duality that you curate into the balance that is your unique expression in this world, divine feminine. It takes the pressure off of the unions and your twin. It takes the pressure off the masculine and puts the onus on you to be the creator of your happiness. Beautiful stuff. Okay, so for divine masculines, we're getting the wellspring of unconditional love, the hermit, reflection. So this is about the destined path. The star is in the hermit's staff. When the hermit comes into alignment, the destined path is illuminated. And setting healthy boundaries. So divine masculine polarity is continuing to define what this trail towards the destined becoming of unconditional love will look like. This is a trailblazing energy. We've got the hobo's pack of love, no other belongings in the world that matter more, and heading out towards the distant horizon one step at a time, forging, innovating, going forward with presence. And for the Divine Feminine, we have the Magician and the Starseed. So this is very much that initial embarking, the leap of faith, a whole new cosmic level. This is the Fool card in other decks, but here it's the Starseed. So for many, and the Indigo, this is mission. You have completely awoken to more than meets the eye, to the grand picture, to the cosmology, to possibly being a starseed, to understanding that we are the specialists that come in and rewrite the earthly templates. Your high heart has opened, and that's like your radio transceiver for galactic information that shows you what really matters and what is valuable to spend your time and effort and innovations on in the world. So Divine Feminine, you are pulling your power back from over concern regarding the union and back into channeling it for the benefit, the betterment of humanity, I just heard. Wow. If anyone can do it, it's you, Divine Feminines. And going into the near future, we have protection. Here is the King of Orbs that holds the Ace of Orbs in this bubble of protection. And then we have this card of juggling fear and love. One does win out. Love always wins. Spoiler alert. Love always wins. And this careful consideration is backing the impeccable knowing of the King of Swords going forward. There's a due diligence that both twins are utilizing going into the future that offers protection, balance, diplomacy, fairness, compassion, appropriate action, and mastery of free will. What does that look like for the Divine Masculine polarity? Balance of ego, taming the beast, humility, saying no to excess, gluttony, opulence, fakery, I just heard, counterfeit energy, fluff, reining the energy in, and only aligning with things that are good and right and true. How does this play out for the Divine Feminines? Working on mission. Just as we saw the Indigo Starseed missions channeling into the 3D. Divine Feminines, you are being given a grace period where what is rightfully energetically due to you, this is legal and accounting. The King of Swords is an accountant, a lawyer, a judge. The Two of Orbs is love versus fear and our thought process, crossroads, how to look at things. Every single present moment has an opportunity to see through the eyes of love or fear. And Divine Feminines, you're being asked to look at all of the energetic allotments that take place in your life right now as the foundational energies entrusted to you. What you have to work with right now shall prosper, I just heard. As you dedicate it to the service of love, may all things grow accordingly to the new energetic alignments that bring in the focus on harmony, teamwork, unity, love, growth, uniqueness, celebration, joy into the world. The other two cards you've got are the card of the 3D, the devil, the binding, and the card of the sovereign, autonomous being, These came out on the side. And so as you apply yourself through the due diligence to anchor that which you are shown you need to do one step at a time next, you will be leaving the 3D and stepping into the ascended. And you don't need to know anything beyond the instructions of the next steps that you're given right now. And trust that you are protected. Trust that it is the divine plan. Trust that energetically it is all working together. Beautiful stuff. So let's get a quick message for, where is that deck? Let's get a quick message from the divine masculine polarity to the divine feminines. What would the DMs say to the DF at this time? What is it that we can see? Divine creator, DMs, what would you like to say to your divine counterpart? I want you. This 8 fell right on the infinity of this humility, the acceptance, forsaking the gluttony and coming back into what is meant for the DMs, DFs. The DMs want to say they were given wrongful advice in the past, and they are choosing this infinite connection. They are choosing to align with eternal and step out of the gluttony that caused them to desire multiple options. They have narrowed it to choosing you and have recognized that they were given wrongful advice about your connection, or were predisposed to look at the love evident in your connection through faulty logic and the binding of the 3D I just heard. What would the divine feminines say to the divine masculines? What can we see, divine creator? I want a fresh start with you in the reverse. So divine feminines have been desiring a brand new way of connecting with you, divine masculines, but they are not wanting to initiate it. They are wanting to follow your lead. They want it with all of their hearts. But because you have utilized wrongful advice in the past, they know that it is on you to initiate it when you are ready. Okay, so let's get into what the divine masculine polarity. I forgot. There were 3 cards here that fell out, and I was told we would get to it. So grieving the old, focusing on the love connection here, going forward, making the changes one by one to bring in the yin-yang, the balance, and be able to communicate divine counterparts about the new vision of the histories, the new plan for the future, the new ways of showing up, the new priorities, the new beliefs, the new inspirations going forward. There's going to be communication about the past through the lens of healing, and about the future through the lens of forethought and accountability. That's exciting. Okay, let's get into the divine masculine reading for the day and see what we can about what the DMs are thinking regarding these connections right now, what the DMs are feeling on the heart space, what is the wish for the connections, what are the actions being taken, the biggest challenges, the spirit-guided solution for those challenges, and the direction that the energy is going in. I'm going to pull 1 card for the divine feminines as we go. Thank you, divine creator. What is it that we can see regarding where the DMs are at and the connections at this time? On the conscious mind, here's the Ace of Swords again. We had it in the connection space. It's in the reverse, so it takes 2. I'm just hearing it takes 2. This is a card of manifestation. The DMs are sensitive, divine feminines, to these next level galactic transmissions that you're channeling through. You might not talk in those cosmic terms, but when you look back in 20 years, I'm hearing, at what has started now, you will see that it was otherworldly and it was of divine plan and nature, because you have aligned that way. And divine masculines are becoming more willing, receptive, ready to collaborate that. They don't know your truth at this point. Energetically with the hawk, they can feel certain things. They know that you are gaining clarity in the ability to manifest your destiny, to discern what it is you're going to be bringing into the world. And they are also feeling called to step up and out of the all that glitters is not gold energy and streamline into this potentiality that is true, sacred manifestation into these connections. The DMs are getting ready to get real about what the purpose of the alignment of each set of twins might be in some regard. There's been a little bit of mystique about why these connections are so magnetic with certain counterparts and what the innovations could be that would result from them. So the DMs are becoming much more curious about that. Let's see what we can about this from the feminine. What does the feminine need to know? Temple of Celestial Revelations. It's that galactic stuff coming through. Angelic assistance, truth, salvation, and majesty. This is also Archangel's sword of truth. We have the angelic assistance and truth, and that is Archangel Michael's sword of truth. We've seen it twice. So the angels are supporting these connections. The angels are ministering to the masculines. Angels are perfected angles of approach. They are perfected essence in certain frequencies. They are the instruments needed for just the right job at the right time in certain situations. They are not infallible because they don't apply to everything across the board. They're specialists. They might be obsolete or unnecessary or redundant in some cases. And so we're not meant to worship the angels because they are tools. But we are meant to call on them. We are meant to employ them. We are meant to send them out in celebration. And there is the energy of truth and innovation here all through this reading. There are new frequencies, initiation of frequencies coming in with the new year. And divine feminines, you're meant to be conscious of that. You're meant to be aware of that. Angels are not woo-woo. They are applicable. They are tangible in the sense that we see the real results when we call on that through our free will, when we ask to be seen, shown what can be seen from a different perspective. The angels come in and illuminate that to us. So divine feminines utilize the ability to ask for understanding, ask for truth, ask for angelic assistance. If anything confuses you about your divine masculine, about your twin connection, about your own spiritual journey, about your mission, about all of it, call on the angels. Okay, divine masculines, what are they feeling on the heart space? The sun and the moon. We have the sun in the reverse and the moon in the upright. I'm just getting that they see that you have been in a certain degree of awareness of these connections on a level that they had not previously seen. But they're coming into it. Divine masculines, you are following the light. Look at this sunshiny torch. You've been following the light of your feminine through the darkness of the becoming, and you're starting to catch stride. You're starting to see, or at least feel, the energetic, magnetic invitation towards your feminine curiosity, playfulness, joy, there's just a pull, excited anticipation. You're starting to see that there can be a lightness coming in, that it doesn't have to be a fearful thing. And that's kudos to you for doing the work, Divine Masculines, to get yourselves free into an energy that can be safe, be entrusted to come forward to the Divine Feminine and not fear the loss of identity, the loss of self, or fear the control of the feminine attempting to control or hinder you in any way. That does not come externally. That is an internal thing, just as happiness is an internal thing. What is the feminine meant to know in this? Bliss, aspiration, and realization. The sun is where things that are brought from the shadow to the light are realized. Once we see the light, we follow suit with our actions and our deeds. And realization is the process by which we make things real. We materialize them into the shared hologram. So Divine Feminines, your Divine Masculine is seeing the light, is beginning to really catch stride with it, and therefore beginning to co-create a new version of reality. Believe it. Go into that high frequency bliss that embodies your portion of that frequency, Divine Feminine, by stepping into service and laying the groundwork for what you're meant to come through, developing your spirituality so that you can embody and exude that which is your unique frequency and configuration. Every one of us is like a filter. Our life experience, our soul, and our set and setting that we've risen up through, each one of us holds a particular set of calibrations within, and we each channel it, divine light, differently through that set of coordinates, like a musical instrument. Each one of us has a unique song, and the divine plays that as it rolls through us into the world. So Divine Feminines, focus on yours, because you are a light. Like a bird singing at dawn, I just heard, for your masculine, coming into the awareness of who you are. I just heard, for some, you have just met your divine counterpart and who you thought was your divine counterpart, or you will just be meeting your divine counterpart, and who you thought was your divine counterpart was a karmic twin or a high-level soulmate that was preparing you to meet your actual twin. What is the wish for the Divine Masculine Collective? To work on autonomy together, to actually practice connecting with someone in wholeness through a teamwork template, a harmonic resonance, rather than a codependent thing. Divine Masculines are wishing to see themselves as codependency free and able to truly show up in these connections without the fear. What can we see for the Divine Feminines here? Golden Potentiator. Quickening exponential expansion. One more wanted to come out. What is it? Discernment, discipline, and order. Seal of subtle luminosity. So this is the macro and the micro. We are getting into the subtle, the fine-tuning, the nuance, the delicate, the chutzpah. And that is going to speed things up, because it's those things we take for granted that seem like they aren't important that are the strongholds. Question those things. When there is an emergency, it's easy to figure out what to do and take care of it. When we take things for granted and we make assumptions and we have these deep, deep imprinted beliefs, those are the last things to uproot as we bring impeccable divine vision and order, discipline, discernment into our lives in a masterful way. When we do that foundational thing, that is when two who have come to that place can have liftoff in life and truly be unstoppable. Beautiful energy. What are the divine masculine actions in the world at this time? Mastering anxiety, mastering the mind, making the changes. Now that here's the infinity symbol and being shown that strength card again, and the 8 of the wanting you, divine feminines. So divine masculines now understand that they want to partner, that they want to put down their anxiety about coming together with a counterpart. I'm being interrupted to say this was an 11 and a 43, which is my self-love card. 11 is a twin flamey union number, a master number. Okay, back to this. Divine masculines are doing the work to align the thoughts according to the love they now know for sure can only be accessed through these divine level connections. The anxiety is being put to rest, one thought at a time, taking one thought captive at a time and measuring it against the unconditional love, energizing it towards the infinite, eternal, unconditional love, and making the changes in the physical that support the understanding, embodiment. What can the divine feminines know about this? Arcturian Stargate, peace, healing, gentleness, and non-judgment. So resist the temptation to negatively judge your divine masculine right now for doing this deep hermit internal work. Divine masculines are processing so much under the surface right now. Completely go into peace, divine feminines. Feel it on the deepest levels. And if you don't feel it, take the initiative in your own divine masculine to overcome anxiety. If you're feeling anxious, you might be feeling residual energy coming to you from your DM if it's not originating in you. So pay attention to that and keep filtering it through by bringing yourself back into equilibrium. Your divine masculine is not responsible for you doing that in yourself. That is codependent when we look to another to give us that. That is short-lived. It is not eternal. That is a temporary quick fix. So refrain from doing that and bring your own accountability in, divine feminines. What is the biggest challenge for the masculines at this time? We saw this energy at the beginning. This is to see the benefit of all things that have come before. To everything that has happened, I say thank you. To everything that will, I say yes. And reunion. So divine masculines have withheld connecting on a deep, deep, deep soulmate level with you, divine feminine, because of the misconceptions, because they thought certain things indicated the love was not there, and they are seeing the love has always been there. They're walking away from things that no longer serve. Beliefs, specifically, one at a time. And so the challenge is to continue to see the love in everything that has transpired, and that it is not counterintuitive to indicating that these connections can and should and will and are meant to come back together. What can we see for the divine feminines regarding this? Communion, contemplation, and higher mind. So if any of these thought forms cross your mind, that it wasn't worth it, or that gratitude and appreciation are not warranted in this situation with your twin, take it to high council. Tell yourself that is an impossibility, and that everything that has happened has been formative and a blessing, if only you have eyes to see and ears to hear. And do that work. If anything still confuses you about the history of your connections or your interactions with the masculine, ask the divine to illuminate to you. Contemplate this. Communion indicates a union, a shared space. Commune in that. Find the bridging energy. Find the way of looking at it. Find the lesson, Divine Feminine, so that you can be a voice of reason that way. What is the spirit-guided solution? Divine Masculines, really look at the fruits. The Queen of Swords in the reverse again is out of alignment. We got this card yesterday. Different context, but still. Divine Masculine, look at all of the ways that you have harbored resentment, resistance, hate, misogyny. Oh yes, I said it. Against the feminine. Mistrust, fear, all of it. Dive into your heart, Divine Masculine, and forgive the feminine. Forgive the mother. What a wave. Yep, you heard it, Masculine. Forgive the feminine. This is a divine order. It's time to forgive the feminine. Forgive the feminine for being the feminine. Forgive the feminine for being disintegrated. Forgive the feminine for the damage the feminine out of balance has done on the planet. Divine Feminines, forgive yourself for this too. Activate your own internal logic and protection and structure by forgiving yourself for the times you have been disintegrated. What is the gate of returning, entrance, death, rebirth, and passage? This is the womb portal, the feminine, the return. Return of Divine Feminine. Reclaim the Divine Feminine. Masculines, have eyes to see the Divine Feminine when the Divine Feminine presents. Have eyes to know, have the discernment to know, so that you don't have to fear ambush, so that you can actually go forward sure-footed and meet the higher expression stride for stride, and not engage with the lower vibrational assessment of a disintegrated feminine. And Divine Feminine, embody the higher vibrational attributes and release anything that feels yuck. Forevermore, I just heard. Oh my gosh. This is the last reading I'm going to be able to do this year. What can we see for the direction? The Wheel of Fortune and the Twin Flames. A choice has been made to go forward out of the comfort zone and into uncharted territory, into these unions further energetically, and that sets the divine will in motion. The Wheel of Fortune is divine intervention. It brings in changes, abundance, blessing based on the choices made from the earth plane, from the souls, from the humans living in this dimension. When we choose, the divine can move. Something is being set in motion. I'm hearing things are always set in motion, but something big. And this is also called the Wheel of the Year. So as we turn to 2022, this year, the numerology, the astrology, it's a different thing. We've never been humans on the planet in this place of the galaxy before. We've never been in this radiation. We've never been in these light codes. And we've never been at a place of unification on the planet like this. And past the markers coming into the ascended mastery. What can we see for the feminines? Spine of Fire. True self, passion, motivation, and purpose. Again, bring it back, Divine Feminines, to your individual purpose. There is nothing that will bring you into union more surely than fulfilling your destined path. You're a sovereign, destined path in your own right. especially at this blessed time on the planet. So divine feminines, continue taking heart that all things are working according to divine plan. Okay, let's get a card for the divine masculines. Got a bunch. Be peace. Life is a mystery. The abundant universe will provide. This talks about coming into the spontaneity of trust. You don't have to premeditate and strategize like you did when you were playing the game in the 3D. This is now about watching the mystery, the magic, and being in an alignment where you can catch those synchronicities and special moments one after another. There is no shortage when you're in flow. There is an abundance, a perpetual motion machine that is activated when we come into our Merkaba light body and all systems engage. It is its own protection, and it generates infinite high frequency aspects of reality. What are the divine feminines being blessed with, the awareness of, imparting today? There is always enough, with or without your masculine, within or exterior to you. You are blessed, divine feminine. How cool is it that you, my viewer, are watching this video right now, that you have the provision and luxury and blessing in your life in this day and age, that you have access to sit around and listen to this. You know, it's 37 minutes out of your life where you don't have to chase off a saber-toothed tiger. You don't have to fear that you're not breathing air right now. I'm assuming that you're in a relatively open energy where you can do this right now. Be grateful for that. Be grateful that you are someone that is of this alignment. And never forget it. Never forget, when the times are good, to be grateful for that. They are better, even right now, than you may have been consciously aware of until that just channeled through. Okay, everybody, much love. Bye for now.